let me ask you a question. Can Alabama even score 17 points in this ball game? I don't know, considering the way the offense has been looking. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope I'll be having a great week. Hope I'll be having a great Thursday. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, it is time for the Alabama versus Missouri preview. Yeah, so this should be an interesting football game. I think we can all agree. Alabama is not clicking on all cylinders. This is the worst they've looked in, I don't know, 15-some years. And on the other hand, Missouri, yeah, they beat Auburn last week, but they don't look too good either. Regardless, both teams are ranked inside the top 25, and it's still hard for me to wrap my brain around that 15 right next to Alabama's name. Just something you're not used to seeing. Normally, it's a single-digit number. But when you play bad, guess what? You get the double-digit numbers, and if Alabama continues to play the way they played the past few weeks, you won't have any number next to your name. We will not just be talking about Alabama and Missouri in this video, although it's going to be a main focal point in this video. I'm also going to preview every other SEC game. Well, I say preview, it's more so going to be a short prediction, but you get the point. You guys like when we did that last week. Your boy Matt is a fan of the people, and I want to continue to give the people what they want. No intro, none of that. I don't have time to waste. You don't have time to waste either. Let's get straight into it. Starting things out hot. At 11 a.m., we get the Ole Miss Rebels, led by the Lane Train, the man, the myth, the legend himself, versus Oklahoma. Not going to waste your time diving to the slightest. Nobody with a functional brain cell is picking OU to win this ball game. They look awful. Ole Miss, they're the much better team. At least they can score points, so give me Ole Miss. At 11:45 a.m., we got a weird kickoff time. We got Arkansas, the Razorbacks, coming off of that terrible performance against LSU against Mississippi State. I know Mississippi State's 1-6, but the past couple weeks, they've played some good football. Put up 31 points against big and bad Georgia, only lost by 10 points, and same thing last week, only lost by 10 to A&M. I've wanted to pick the upset all week, but I think Arkansas, they bounce back. Give me the Razorbacks. At 3:15, we got a top 25 matchup. I can't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth. 25th ranked Vanderbilt is hosting Texas. It feels like we're in an alternate universe. You got Vanderbilt inside the top 25, and Alabama, well, they're just not dominating anymore. I don't know how y'all feel about this, but for me, myself, I've been looking forward to this game for the past couple of weeks. I think this game's going to tell us way more about Vanderbilt than it will Texas. We know Texas is a good football team, but with Vanderbilt, I want to find out if they can compete with yet again another top 5 team in Texas. Although they beat and upset Alabama, is it more so because Alabama's just not as good as we thought they were going to be, or is Vanderbilt legit? We're going to find out in this game. I'd say if Vanderbilt can keep it just somewhat competitive around 14, 17 points, yeah, that means they're legit. But if Texas goes in there and just steamrolls them, beats them by about 40, 50 points, yeah, that tells us all we need to know about Vanderbilt. I tell you what, man, though, I would not sleep on this Vandy team, and I believe this spread started out at like 21, 22 points, and it's already down to 18.5. You know what that says? More people are putting money on Vanderbilt, and I can't blame them. Goes without being said, duh, obvious, this would be a big-time upset. But how does Vanderbilt pull off this upset? Let's talk about it. In a perfect world, and it's not always perfect, you do the exact same thing you did against Alabama. Shorten the game, limit the possessions, run the ball, and pick up third downs. The more third down conversions you convert, the more it allows you to melt the clock. Because if you can get a third down and you continue to run it, at bare minimum, that's taking off 1.5 to 2.5 minutes. Similar to the Bama game, you're going to need Texas to shoot themselves in the foot, which we've seen them do, and you're going to need to force a couple turnovers. To go on top of that, and this is the thing that people didn't talk about enough, Vandy against Alabama, when they had the ball, they were flawless. Didn't make any big mistakes. I go on and on, but I think you get the point. Vandy has got to play a near-perfect game. I'd say they got to play their A- game, worst case in scenario. And Texas, they need to play for Vandy to win their C- game or even C+ game. I know a lot of people still don't take Vanderbilt serious, but they're good enough to win even if you just play average. I personally don't believe Texas is going to go in there and steamroll them, especially coming off of that loss against Georgia. There's always been this theory going around, well, oh, when a team loses, they bounce back in a strong way, or they're going to be motivated, something like that. Well, to me, there's also another side to it. When a team loses, they lose momentum, and they sort of get down on themselves. And I think that's how Texas is going to be in this ball game. I think they've lost some of that confidence. In Vanderbilt, they're playing with house money, and that's the best. Nobody within that program, head coach, players, nobody cares if they lose to Texas. You already beat the number 1 team in the nation. You're inside the top 25. Like I said, it's house money. This will be the cherry on top. Vanderbilt's going to play freely, going to let their nuts hang, and that's why I think they have a good shot of competing. Not winning, but competing. Pavia's got to play good, and maybe, and this is just a maybe, the Vanderbilt defense, which isn't too great, they can muster up a couple of stops. That's how Vandy wins the game. With all that being said, though, I am taking Texas. I'll even give you a score for this one. I'd say Texas 24, Vandy 20. I hope it's close. I really do. I want to see a good ball game there. Going on down here, we already talked about LSU and A&M. Auburn and Kentucky kicking off at 6:45. This is below the battle of the mid. This is going to come down to which team's going to suck more. Kentucky sucks. Auburn sucks. Whoever sucks worse, they're going to lose this game. We know what the Peyton Thorne experience is about. He's going to have 2 or 3 disastrous throws that arguably lose you the football game. Auburn has now had multiple double-digit leads in the fourth quarter that they've blown. I mean, I'm going to continue to say this. This team ain't that bad. They're a quarterback away from being 5-2 or 6-1. It's just one of those years for Auburn. Nothing's going right. And for Kentucky, outside that Ole Miss game, it's been about as bad. Not as bad as Auburn, but you're 3-4, so close to it. Kentucky is favored, but I like Auburn in this one. I'm telling you, not a bad team. That's all the SEC games this week outside of arguably the main reason you're here. Alabama versus Mizzou. As to where it stands, let me pull it up. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Alabama is a 17-point favorite. As to why. Matt, lock in. Sorry. As to why they're a 17-point favorite. I don't know. You could say, well, Matt, Missouri's not that good. Who cares? Alabama was a 22-point favorite over Vandy. They didn't even just not cover that. They lost the game. Then, against South Kakalaki, they was like an 18-point favorite. Almost lost that one. Then last week happened, and then here we are. Let me ask you a question. Can Alabama even score 17 points in this ball game? I don't know, considering the way the offense has been looking. These past couple weeks, Jalen Milroe hasn't played his best, and a lot of people are calling for his job. That's really a different conversation for a different day. We've talked all about that. For me, he's still QB1, but if he doesn't play good against Missouri, we have a real conversation on our hands. But we're not going to talk about that because as it stands right now, he's starting. I'm not going to sit up here and just go over all the disastrous things that's happened for this Alabama football program the past couple weeks because we've talked about it enough already and you've seen it. Here's the bottom line. Alabama doesn't look like a good football team. That's it. Period. The end. And I said this throughout the week. I'm going to say it again. They are a decent football team with supreme talent. This is one of the most undisciplined Alabama football teams I've ever seen in my life. Too many pre-snap penalties, too many mental mistakes, and the list goes on and on and on. A.J. McCarron even recently came out and stated, yeah, these players care more about TikTok than actually winning games and playing football. Is he wrong? Well, I'll let you be the judge in the comment section. Alabama is still trying to find themselves. They don't have a good defense, and their offense hasn't been too good either. They don't know who they are. And when you're entering your 8th game of the season and you have zero identity whatsoever, that's a bad sign. Fortunately for Alabama, you are playing another team that hasn't been too hot recently, and that's Mizzou. Unfortunately for Missouri, their starting running back will not be playing in this game. So I know what my Bama fans may be saying. Oh, well, I guess we're going to have the edge there in the rushing attack. And no, you're not, because you don't run the football. Alabama has 2 of the best running backs in the nation and refuses to run the ball. I don't know why they do that. It beats me. If anybody can figure out why they don't run the ball more, let me know in the comment section. The Alabama offense in a nutshell is literally just Jalen Milroe scrambling for his life. He runs 10 yards backwards, 10 yards side to side, heaves it up to Ryan Williams. If he catches it, great. If he doesn't catch it, well, yeah, that's the end-all be-all. It's a crap show. Hopefully, Alabama's offense can get things going against Missouri because they don't have a good defense. If you can't put up more than 30 points on this Missouri defense, Alabama, yeah, I mean, you can kiss making the playoff or even competing for a championship goodbye. Not that I think this team can compete for a championship the way they look right now, but you don't even have a chance of it if you can't score more than 30 against Mizzou. On the flip side of the ball, for Missouri's offense, nothing special. Guys, A&M beat the crap out of Missouri 41-10. And A&M also, similar to Alabama, has a first-year head coach in Mike Elko. And let me ask y'all a question. Do any of you watching this video think A&M is more talented than Alabama? No, at least I hope not. There is no excuse for Alabama to also not beat Missouri. I'm not even going to say by 30, but by 20 points. They should go out here and dominate. But they were also supposed to go out there and dominate Vandy. They were supposed to dominate South Carolina, and we saw that happen. How does Missouri win this game? How do they pull out this upset? Because let me remind you, yet again, Missouri is a 17-point underdog. Ironically enough, for Missouri to pull off this upset, I don't even think it falls into their hands. I think it comes down to something as simple as, how's Alabama going to play? If Alabama plays like they did last week, week before, and the week before that, these last 3 weeks, Missouri's going to have a chance. But if Alabama plays like they did in the first half against Georgia, they play like they did the entire game against Wisconsin, Missouri doesn't stand a chance. Sadly for Missouri fans, I know you don't want to hear this, it's not up to you. If Missouri wants to win, they're going to need Alabama to goof around like they've been goofing around the past few games. It'll also help if Missouri can get some chunk plays, and I think they can do that because that Alabama secondary is really weak. But all in all, I don't see a Cajun scenario where Missouri pulls off this upset. I'm rolling with the Tide. I got Alabama win this one, but I still don't think the offense is going to light them up. I'll say Bama 30, Missouri 14. That's my score prediction, and I think I speak for all Alabama fans when I say this. I just want to see Alabama play some good football. I'm tired of being disappointed. I'm tired of being embarrassed. Can we just show up for one single Saturday? Is that too much to ask for? I don't know. Maybe it is. I'm very curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But